Welcome back, my friends. So we're continuing our Halloween specials, and today we're gonna venture out in Burbank, California, which is located just north of Hollywood. And for this one, I brought in the Halloween and horror expert, Steve.
Well, thank you, Chris. That was a lovely introduction. Guys, I don't claim to be an expert like he says. I'm more of a horror concierge.
I think you mean connoisseur, maybe?
Whatever. Anyways, guys, we're here to show you a good time over in Magnolia Park in the lovely city of Burbank. It's very charming. They have everything. If you're a nerd, they got nerd stuff. If you're a horror enthusiast, they have horror stuff. If you're a foodie, they have food. Guys, it's going to be an awesome episode. We have lots to show you, and we're going to have a killer time.
And with that, let's go ahead and start the tour. Alright, our first stop is Halloween Town, which is a massive Halloween store that has been around for over 20 years. And honestly, when I first stepped in, it really felt more like an experience rather than just your cookie cutter Halloween store. It's a really cool space, so definitely check it out. And yeah, what did you think about the whole ambiance and the props that they have there, Steve?
Well, Chris, Halloween Town is one of my favorites. I feel like they should charge an admission for people to go in there. It is so awesome. The ambiance is out of this world. Guys, they've got everything in there. They've got apparel. They got killer decorations.
Yep.
No pun intended. They've got books. They got something for everybody. Really big store, a lot of variety, really cool setups. I really advise you guys check it out. It is one of the coolest Halloween stores you'll ever step foot into. It's like Spirit of Halloween on steroids.
Yeah, exactly. And if you want to decorate your house, like Steve said, this is definitely the place to go to.
Absolutely.
And best of all, they're open year-round, so you can go there any time of the year. That said, next door they also have a costume store, which is open only seasonally for Halloween. And yeah, I've heard it's quite popular, right, Steve?
That's right. I've witnessed lines literally going around the block trying to get into that costume store. What I would do, guys, is make a day of it. Go check out Halloween Town. Check out the costume store down the street. It is really quite an experience. It'll be your one-stop Halloween shop. Bring a couple of friends. You guys will have a good time.
Exactly, just make a fun day out of it, and we'll show you some more stops along the way on Magnolia Blvd. So let's move on to the next stop. Alright, it's time to grab a bite to eat. Here we are at the Pinocchio restaurant, and as you step inside, you'll see this little Italian market, and then also the Monte Carlo Deli, where you can get really delicious sandwiches, which we had while we were there. And then, Steve, I think you mentioned you've also tried their pizza there before in the restaurant, right?
A very killer pizza, to be exact.
Is it now?
Unfortunately, they don't sell it by the slice. However, if you guys are listening to what we're saying here, you will be with your spooky exploration group, taking a break and getting a whole pizza from there. Or a couple sandwiches too. You cannot lose. It's a great place, guys. Highly recommend it. And they have gelato. And they have wine. But not that cup, though.
Yeah, that cup is special. Actually, I got that at Halloween Town.
That's right. Come on, guys. What are you waiting for?
Here we are at Blast from the Past, which is a really cool store with all kinds of TV, movie, and comic book memorabilia from the past and present. And yeah, they have some really cool stuff in there, but I'm definitely not as much a nerd as you are, Steve, so take it away.
Thanks, Chris. Nerds, fellow nerds, hear me out. Guys, this is a time capsule, this place. They've got toys from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. They got Batman, they got Transformers, Star Wars, you name it. It's really wonderful. These vintage shops, they always give you such a nostalgic feeling, and this place does not disappoint. Check it out. I highly recommend it. It is huge and it has everything. It's going to bring back memories. You guys will love it.
Absolutely. And also when the owners are around, make sure to strike up a conversation with them, because they definitely see their store more as a hangout place than just your regular cookie cutter store.
And bring your credit card.
Absolutely.
You're going to need it.
Here we are at the Mystic Museum. That's definitely a stop you want to include on your Magnolia Blvd tour. So as you step in, there's 3 different sections. One, you have your oddities, curiosities, and antique shop. Then you have your camp horror, an homage to 80s slasher and horror movies. And then another section with a bunch of goth fashion, dark home decor, and literature of the mystical. And then in the back, they have a rotating interactive exhibit, which right now is Y2 Kills, celebrating the horror films of the 2000s. So, Steve, what did you think about the Mystic Museum?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Chris. They say I'm a man of few words, but I cannot say enough about the Mystic Museum. It is indeed the horror highlight of Magnolia Park. My favorite part of it was the center where they have all the antiquated medical equipment. That was creepy, the wheelchair. I don't want to give too much away, but guys, this is a treasure trove of horror stuff. It is a really cool place. Super, super fun. Go with some friends. You'll have a great time. Make sure you check out the exhibit.
Absolutely. And yeah, as you walk through the exhibit, there's definitely quite some surprises along the way. And on top of that, you could take a bunch of photos with your friends, record video, whatever you want to do. They're really cool about it there. So yeah, it's a really cool spot. Make sure to check it out. So as you walk along Magnolia Boulevard, you'll definitely notice a lot of vintage shops, and one we want to point out is Junk for Joy Halloween Vintage. It's a really cool store that specializes on 60s, 70s, and 80s accessories and clothing. My friend Steve, he was looking for a costume, so he talked to the owner and she was really helpful putting together something. What did you think, Steve?
I thought it was a very cool store. They had a lot of cool 70s shirts there, so
For sure.
I grabbed one. I went into the dressing room, came out thinking I looked like John Travolta. He said I looked like Mr. Furley. I don't know. I'll let you guys decide. We'll show you a picture. Anyways, they had the coolest selection of vintage sunglasses too.
Absolutely, and speaking of sunglasses, we did speak to the owner for a little bit, and she mentioned that she provided all of the sunglasses for the Tarantino movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
If it's cool enough for Brad Pitt, it's cool enough for you.
Exactly. So yeah, make sure to stop by.
By the way, where'd you get these glasses from?
Oh, these here? Yeah, we'll let you know on an upcoming video. But we're not done yet. Alright, this next store is really one that we just stumbled upon. We didn't even know about it despite doing all the research. But yeah, it's called Be Kind Video, where you can find all these VHS, DVDs, Blu-rays for rent and sale. So definitely getting some blockbuster vibes here from the past. And yeah, Steve, what did you think about the store?
Well, let me put it in perspective. When this guy was alive, he didn't have Netflix. He had a thing called the video store, and this was the place to be in a Friday or Saturday night. You would get your video games, the latest movies, candy. Guys, when you go into this thing, you're gonna feel that nostalgia. It's super cool. What blew me away is right when I walked in, first thing I noticed is a stack of Nintendo Entertainment Systems. They had the game cartridges spread out. They had Batman 89 memorabilia. They had Garbage Pail Kids stickers, first edition all over. If you're a Gen X kid, you're gonna love this store. Very cool, highly recommended.
Alright, let's grab another bite to eat at one of LA's most iconic cafes and bakeries. It's called Porto's and was founded by Cuban immigrant Rosa Porto in 1976. And what started with some Cuban pastries and cakes has grown to a full-on bakery and cafe with all kinds of international sweet and savory items. And besides this location in Burbank, they have 5 other locations here in Southern California and building a 7th one at the downtown Disney District in Anaheim. And one item you definitely have to try are the potato balls. They're so good. I always get them when I'm there, but also make sure to save some room for a delicious cake. What did you think, Steve?
You can't go wrong with Porto's. I've known about this place for years. Their Downey location was always a favorite of mine. Guys, go there. Anything off the menu will blow you away. It's just one of those places. Highly recommend it. I do gotta warn you, typically lines are long for Porto's, so it is totally worth it though. Check it out.
Absolutely. Alright friends, that wraps up our Magnolia Boulevard tour. But hey, we got more in store for you, right Steve?
That's right, Chris. We might have a maze to review or two. You know, spooky season is coming. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was a lot of fun. Remember guys, check out Magnolia Park and there's more to come.
Make sure to subscribe.
That's right. Ooh.